Hi there, everybody. Russ Lewis in the KHOU newsroom on a Monday afternoon. We're glad you're with us here on our digital platforms. Want to let you know what's going on. We see a lot of you clicking right now on anything to do with the weather today, and that's because there are some big changes not only down the road this week, but also right now. So we're going to start with that. Blake Matthews is in for us this afternoon. Let's talk first, Blake, about what's happening out there right now. Looks like some pretty heavy rain for some folks.
Yeah, absolutely, Russ. We're talking about some heavy rain in deep East Texas, as well as right here along I-10, the East Freeway, getting into areas east of downtown. In fact, closing in on the Channelview area right now as we speak. A heavy thunderstorm just to your northeast between I-10 and Highway 90. That's where the heaviest of the downpours are right now. We've got some lighter rain out over Galveston Bay, stretching out towards the Pasadena area into Genoa, out along the southeast beltway there, moving into the Pearland region as well. There's a closer look at that downpour, really kind of falling apart as it pushes towards San Leon, League City, Taylor Lake Village, and we may see some light rain from Alvin to Santa Fe to Texas City here in the next 15 or 20 minutes. Now, over in our southwest counties, getting into Wharton and Fort Bend counties, just a few scattered sprinkles out there. Nothing overly heavy, although I am now seeing a little bit of a downpour there just southeast of Jersey Village. This is going to be up on the North Freeway and 290. So between 290 and the North Freeway is where we're seeing that downpour as we speak. But that's about it as far as inside Harris. And that was our chief meteorologist, David Paul. So, hello, David. Welcome aboard. So here's a look at across nationwide. We're talking about heavy rain here from New York into Pennsylvania down through Kentucky as well. So a nasty day in the northeast corridor of the U.S. Also dealing with a lot of rain here in the northwest Gulf of Mexico. As we were anticipating, if you were watching Saturday or Sunday, we were talking about that rain moving into the forecast for today. My goodness, you would not know that it is rainy outside right now. It is 95 degrees up there at Bush Intercontinental Airport, 92 in Conroe. But look at this, rain-cooled air there in Anahuac, holding at 83 degrees, 87 degrees there at Hobby Airport. It's feeling like 105 at the big airport right now, same in College Station, and 103 down there in West Columbia. So there's a live look out over the city. Kind of a gloomy afternoon, but those storms are going to continue to be possible at least through about 8 o'clock this evening. And then, of course, Russ was right. Everybody is talking about the Tuesday morning cold front. And folks, this is a legit cold front that could actually challenge some record low temperatures here in the city of Houston. Not just Wednesday morning, but Thursday morning as well. In fact, looking at some of the latest data coming in, we're looking at the dew points. Dew point is important when it comes to low temperatures because the lower that dew point is, the lower those overnight lows can go. And I'm talking about temperatures possibly moving into the mid 60s, even some lower 60s possible in some parts of the Houston area. And of course, we'll talk about that coming up here in just a second. And again, there's your record low temperatures. So future track, there's our front moving into southeast Texas. I've actually lowered the rain chances a little bit as we get into tomorrow. It looks like a lot of dry air is going to be in company with this front. So I've actually lowered the rain chances to about 50%. And drier, cooler air, folks. This is Oktoberfest in July. It is going to be really, really beautiful weather headed our way. Not cold, but beautiful. We're talking about unbelievable type sapphire blue skies in our forecast heading into Wednesday and Thursday. Take a look at the tropics. This is important, by the way. This has popped up recently. The National Hurricane Center saying this could actually become a depression getting into the later afternoon hours today or tomorrow. They've actually upped the chance to 60% over the next 48 hours. Now, you'll notice it's going to hook very hard to the right, and the reason for that is because of the cold front that is moving through our area tomorrow, and this is going to sweep any tropical nemesis out to the east. So there you go. There are the computer models taking it up toward the east coast of Florida and eventually out to sea. We are not looking for widespread development from this particular system. Now, here's a look at the cold front itself. This is 4 a.m. tomorrow morning, moving into Huntsville and College Station. A few scattered sprinkles in accompanying with that. And then by 9 o'clock in the morning, moving towards the I-10 corridor and eventually pushing off the coast as we get past the noon hour tomorrow. And then we're dealing with northerly winds coming in, driving in that drier air. Now, here's a look at the temperatures. This is what I wanted to show you. And David, Paul, you might want to watch this. 81 degrees is what the model's showing here at 5 o'clock. That's rain-cooled air. This takes us into 10 o'clock. Now, we wake up tomorrow morning, 77 degrees at Bush, 78 in Pearland, 77 in Sugarland. Highs tomorrow, by the time we get to the noon hour, mid to upper 80s around the region. And thanks to that drier air, we could actually see those temperatures easily get back to those lower 90s. Remember, dry air is easy to cool down, but it's also easy to warm up. Now, This is 7 a.m. on Wednesday morning. The record low at Bush Intercontinental Airport is 68 degrees, set back in 1972. So it's not out of the question that that record could fall on Wednesday morning. But check this out. The model now painting 62 degrees up there in Huntsville, 63 in College Station, Brenham, widespread 60s almost to the coast. Galveston coming in at 72 degrees. Yeah, we're going to need a shawl around the area, absolutely. But, I mean, this is pretty unusual, DP, wouldn't you say, for late July. I've lived here a long time, most of my life, so has David, a little bit longer than I have. And it's very unusual to see temperatures this cool getting into late July. So here's the 7-day outlook. I've actually got 68 degrees. That would be a record low temperature on Wednesday morning. I've also got 66 degrees heading into Thursday morning. The record, folks, this is an ancient record going back to 1894. If we are able to hit 65 degrees on Thursday morning, we would break a very old record here in the city of Houston. And then we're right back to summertime temperatures as we get into the weekend with the humidity and the rain chances returning once again. But once we get through tomorrow, we are in for Chamber of Commerce type weather. Beautiful weather, Russ, heading into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Into the 60s at night. That is going to be incredible later in the week. Blake, thanks a lot. Another story you're clicking on today is this horrible, horrible wrong way crash that happened on the West Park Tollway overnight eastbound at Eldridge. And this involved a, again, wrong way driver going head on with a couple of Harris County Sheriff's deputies in their vehicle. The two deputies injured. Their prisoner that they were transporting to jail at the time was killed in that wreck. And I guess the irony here is that the prisoner was being taken to jail for DWI. They say that the driver who hit the sheriff's deputies was extremely intoxicated when they investigated that wreck. So again, it happened overnight eastbound. We can tell you about the deputies. We've learned a little more information today. The 36-year-old deputy driving has a couple of broken bones and a lot of cuts and bruises. That deputy was riding with a 34-year-old probationary patrol deputy who has a head injury. So both of those deputies expected to survive. Again, their passenger, a 42-year-old man, died in that wreck. The wrong way driver in this wreck is 39 years old in a Lexus 2013. Again, crashed head on. Charged with felony murder today because of the death in this wreck. Listen to this. That driver had 5 previous DWI arrests, 3 convictions in other states. But that's what the Harris County Sheriff is telling us today about the driver now charged with felony murder in this wreck. So we're following that today, and the sheriff telling us now they're going to investigate where that driver had been drinking prior to the wreck, because if it was some bar over serving, then of course that establishment could face charges as well for that wreck. So they're looking into that today. We'll have an update for you on the 411 today at 4 o'clock. Another story we're following, a lot lighter than that last one, but it involves the price of brisket. Maybe you've noticed recently how much it's gone up. Melissa Correa is looking into that, and instead of me trying to explain it, I'm just going to bring her in.
I'm just coming in this bizarre dance-off, Russ. Yeah, I just got back. I was out on Voss near Westheimer talking with Rogels. They've been in the barbecue business for decades. And the price of brisket, I learned, is not something the average person's going to notice if you go to the grocery store, because how often are we buying pounds and pounds of brisket? But you are going to notice the price, and you've probably been noticing the price when you go to some of these barbecue places. And so it's interesting to learn the science behind all of it.
Okay, how much has it gone up first? I mean, is it significant? It would be noticeable, you think? It's hard to tell, right?
Super noticeable for them. Like, for instance, he pulled his sales numbers, like what he paid for. And last year, this time, he paid, or in 2017, he was paying $2.63 a pound of brisket.
Okay.
And today he's paying $3.10. And you know, you think, okay, you're talking pennies, but you're talking about restaurants that smoke hundreds of pounds of brisket each day.
And that's 20%, quick math, that's 20% increase.
Yeah, from a couple years over time.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting because Texas is so known for this brisket barbecue, and you don't want to stick it to the consumer. But right now in Houston, kind of the average for a pound of brisket, $20 a pop.
Well, now, is there a reason for this, or is it just supply and demand?
It's Exactly what you just said, supply and demand. The thing is like Texas barbecue is a cult. You come to Texas for it. Texas Monthly's got those lists out. Everybody's like the top 5 places you gotta have barbecue if you're in Houston for 24 hours. And not only that, but it's spread across the country. And so now you're dealing with all these chefs who want to smoke brisket in California and Washington, D.C., all over the country. And it's just a matter of more people wanting to do this and not enough cows. So the cows, literally cash cows right now.
They want to get the meat here in Texas, and that's what's causing the price to go
Yeah.
up. You have any good news for us about brisket? I mean, is it?
It's delicious.
Well, yes.
But it's interesting. We've got an article. Duh. We've got an article up at KHOU.com. I'm going to do a poor man's graphic of Anna White here. We posted that article on KHOU's Facebook page.
Now it's up. They can see it.
There it is. And that's the article. And some of the comments, Russ, if you're talking about good news, it's hilarious. Somebody said, ridiculous price for a piece of meat that nobody knows how to cook correctly. And then this one says, where the congressional hearings on this. Somebody says, I've been eating too much brisket. Somebody else joked, do I go have a pound of brisket or do I pay my bills for the month?
Oh,
but you
that's getting
can't,
serious.
yeah, you can't talk Texas without talking barbecue. And I don't know, what do you think about it? You think it's worth the hype?
Well, I love it. If you go to the right place, it's delicious. I did a whole story on it 3 or 4 months ago, some of the best barbecue places, and that was my favorite story since I arrived here. I mean, it was just trying out brisket.
I know, it's so delicious.
Tell me though, didn't that used to be the meat that really nobody wanted?
It was.
The part of the cow nobody wanted?
It was kind of this extra, it was kind of just this surplus part of the cow, and these guys learned how to do, I mean, it's a tough piece of meat, and also too, you've really got to know how to smoke it, right? That's the whole point of it, and that's the challenge of it, I think, now. And like, if you think back to your mom making a brisket back when we were younger, it was kind of this like rectangular block of meat. Now it's prime brisket, like it's top notch, and they're these long pieces of meat, and so it's just changed. But we've seen this with chicken wings, I feel like. What else have we seen this in the past before with different kinds of meats?
Anything that gets popular.
I know.
So I want to go back to this though. Your mom cooked brisket when you were growing up?
She tried. She would do that. My dad tried to.
Yeah,
we ate it.
All right. We had those chicken pot pies that were frozen.
Oh, I know those too. Yeah, Swanson's.
And the TV dinners. And
your mom was not a bad bite. I'll tell you what though, the most difficult part of this story was shooting it today. Like even just thinking about the video I captured for the story at 4:30 and 6. Shout out. My mouth is watering, and of
you
course
have to sample.
They gave me a little bit. Rogels did give me a little bit, but they didn't give me enough to make a meal out of it. And I get it because it's $20 a pound, right? So
yeah, all right. Well, that's coming up at 4:30 on the 411 and at 6 o'clock as well. So.
And weigh in. I'm looking for some of these comments as to what people think about the price of brisket. And if you watch at 6 o'clock for sure, we always try to pull these comments and use them in the story. So you might get a shout out.
Well, and I want to know from people too, have you noticed at your favorite place that the price has gone up over the last year or two because of this, or has your favorite place tried to hold the line on the price to you, the customer, to try to keep you coming in?
I mean, at $20 a pound, I don't know that that's where I would go for a family celebration. I mean, our family, my mom's like, everybody gets half a sausage link and all the free bread you can get, and then just turn it into a pickle sandwich. But like, I don't know. That's just even an expensive date because you want to go in there and you want to eat, but now you're savoring it all. I don't know.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear more.
Russ and I both love pecan pie, so we'll end it there. Yeah, you can also get that at your favorite barbecue joint.
Okay, good. Hopefully the price of pecans are not going up too. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, okay, I'm going to go back out.
I'm glad I didn't try to explain that myself. I would have messed that up for sure. I just like to eat it. I don't like to explain it. We'll see you at 4 o'clock here in about an hour and a half on the 411. Hope you can join us then. Until then, have a great day, everybody.